Oh yeah, you guys know what time it is. You know what's going on. We are back with another episode of the Silver Boys Podcast. I'm your host, Cam Silver.
I am your co-host Kyle Silver.
And Kyle, last time we had left off, it was a lot of, obviously we're talking about a lot of trades, a lot of signings, and obviously this past week, still more trades, still more signings. A signing that we did not get to talk about last week was the
hmm
Lakers finally signing a center in Deandre Ayton.
hmm
Although I've been seeing talks of people saying that they're not sure about this trade and things of that nature. Me, just as a Laker fan and a basketball fan, I believe that it's a good signing for both both squads, both parties. I'll tell you why. I think the Lakers obviously they needed a center. They needed somebody in the interior that could get boards, they could block shots. Someone like DeAndre Ayton who's young, basically the same age as Luca. They both came in at the same time. Also, someone who has great experience getting deep into the playoffs. He was on that run with that Sun squad.
hmm
If they didn't give up that 2-0 lead, we're talking about Aiton and probably everybody else from that squad in a different light now.
Yes, most definitely.
But yeah, I think it's good for Aiton. I think it's good for the Lakers. So I think both sides, and I think for Aiton, who just had a buyout with the Portland Trail Blazers, I think that this is good for him too because now he wants to acclimate himself. He wants everybody to know that he's here to stay and that he's not just, some guy that's gonna keep fumbling around and not be a quote unquote bust as a number one.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. I think the greatest thing in this trade, in this, not even in a trade, excuse me, in just acquiring DeAndre Ayton for the Lakers was the fact that he is a defensive presence, in the interior and somebody else for Luka to find the ball for. Especially in a post LeBron, team that's gonna probably be coming up in the next, year, 2 years, if depending on how things go. Um, but I think the Lakers put themselves in a great position. Obviously, they needed a center. We were talking about that as soon as they got Luca, this past year. Um, so I like this pickup a lot, genuinely, just because of what you were highlighting as well too. DeAndre Ayton, he wants to prove himself. I think, we looked at him in a different light after those NBA finals. Um, we kind of were I was a little disappointed with him in his play, and I can tell Phoenix was, or else they wouldn't have gotten rid of him. Um, but still a young guy, like, can work with Luca. Um, I see him being a very great addition to the league, to this Lakers squad. I mean, it was needed. It was very much needed.
Right. Yeah. Like you said, they had LeBron playing center. They had
Exactly.
Dorian Finney-Smith playing center. So
Exactly.
anybody over 6'10", 6'11", they could use, right?
Exactly. Exactly. That's all they can. They needed this, and I was questioning what the Lakers were going to do all offseason,
Yeah.
honestly.
Same year. And
So
it was just one of those things where it's like, all right, we know that they're transitioning over to Luca, but it's like, how are they going to please Luca? How are they going to build around Luca?
hmm
This is a start right here, and that's all you can really ask for. Now it's just time for Rob to lock in and keep getting more. And speaking of more, he did sign Jackson Hayes back to a 1 year deal, so he comes back. He's someone else I like. Uh, he's not your he's a rim runner, but he's not as big as other rim runners, like a Clint Capella, like a Derek Lively. That's who you would want your rim runners to be.
yeah,
But
definitely.
if he could control his fouls, and if he could just, just figure it out and just try to stay on the court longer, he could do a lot more damage because he's one of those guys. He's a leaper. Like he could jump with the best of them.
Yeah, I mean, just going back in terms of what I just said, the Lakers needed this more than DeAndre Ayton, I think, needed the Lakers, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
Um, and Luca needed a big as well too. Defensive presence, like I said again, just because of how, inconsistent they kind of were on the defensive end. Like they had some highs, then they got right back into the lows, on the defensive side of things.
Mhm.
But with a healthy Luca and a skinny Luca paired up with DeAndre Ayton, I think that they can make some noise. I
Yeah.
think that they can make some noise.
Oh yeah, big time.
And it was a good pickup to get Jackson Hayes as well too.
Yes.
Somebody off the bench, just somebody, that could rim run, like you said, just somebody that adds a different dynamic in a different game, honestly.
Yeah, another body in there that is
Yeah.
was what they needed. Mo Wagner, agrees to a 1 year deal, 1 year, $5 million deal to return to the Magic. I've loved him. I've always loved him. He's one of my favorite players to watch. If it wasn't for the ACL, who knows what they could have possibly done? Maybe they could have possibly gotten past Boston team who started to ramp up with the injuries a little bit.
Hmm.
So yeah, I like that a lot. They also lock up Paulo and Carroll now with the what is it? The rookie, I think the rookie extension,
A
Superman.
rookie extension, yeah.
So that's another 5 years. So you have him, you have Franz Wagner, who's on his extension. Jalen Suggs is on the extension. Desmond Bain now is on that team with the 3 year deal.
Hmm.
Back. So they got the horses to do it, And like you said, the East for the most part, the East is pretty much open other than the Knicks, the Cavs. Who else are you really
Yeah,
talking?
no, it is not really Knicks, Cavs,
The only other
and then Orlando. I mean,
yeah,
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 I got to put Orlando there.
because then after that we're talking hypotheticals, right? Philly, but that's
Come on, man.
hypothetical. That's
Come on.
like I said, that's a hypothetical though. Is if they can if they could just stay somewhat healthy,
Hmm.
meaning Paul George and Joel Embiid, if those two can just stay somewhat healthy, and then you get back Tyrese Maxey, you get back Jared McCain,
Jared McCain.
and you have the new kid in VJ Edgecombe who's coming in, who's hungry.
On paper, it's a very tough squad.
On paper, is arguably one of the best squads that you're gonna see in the East.
Yes, yes.
Athletic, they have everything. They have 3-and-D guys. They have guys that can get to the basket. They have guys that can pull up mid range, hit the three. They have it all. They just have to be healthy. That's the
Hmm.
problem. Has
That's
been
the that's and that's been the problem with Philly for it feels like a decade now, honestly.
feels like more than that almost,
Nah,
right?
for real.
Um, a trade that was somewhat shocking, but then once it settled in, it wasn't as shocking for me. Rockets trade Cam Whitmore to the Wizards for 2 second-round picks.
Okay.
For those who don't know, Cam Whitmore was actually supposed to be in that Rockets and Suns trade,
Mm.
but the Suns elected for the picks instead of Cam Whitmore, which is kind of funny to me because the Rockets GM said that the reason why they traded Cam Whitmore or the reason why they made these trades for to trade Cam Whitmore and to get KD was mainly because they're not a development team anymore, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, and Cam Whitmore probably needs a little more developing going on. So that's why I liked him going to the Wizards. I would have also liked him to go to a Sun squad, which isn't really competing or contending for a
I
championship.
know, and the fact that they just took all of these picks as well too,
Yeah.
it's just it almost feels like a waste to Devin Booker's career as of right now though too, because you guys are just what 4 years removed, 3, 4 years removed from an NBA Finals run,
Hmm.
you know? So but I can tell that they're in a rebuild right now. Um, and that it sucks, honestly, for Phoenix. I just think it sucks more than anything else.
Yeah, because think about it, you had so much momentum with that NBA Finals team.
Hmm.
Do it again, and then you get embarrassed by Luca, and then after that, you decide to blow it up because you want to try to build a super team at the time when the NBA pulls in that second apron.
Yeah.
So they were basically, I want to say like a year or two late to the party.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. And it was just crazy to think at one point in time, Phoenix was the best team
Yeah.
with a DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker led squad before you
Hmm.
got KD, before you got Bradley Beal, when Monty Williams was the coach.
Right.
Um, so for them to not even to get the picks, not get Cam Whitmore again as well too, again, somebody that could have learned behind Devin Booker, just understand the ins and outs of how to game, how to score, like, better, more efficiently, things like that.
Right.
Um, I'm interested to see where Phoenix goes. I very much am.
I
Very,
am
very
too,
much am.
because just speaking of Phoenix, Devin Booker agrees to a 2 year, $145 million max contract extension with the Suns. So that's
Mhm.
through 2029, 2030. That will be the highest annual salary in NBA history. And that 2 years is added on. So it's not to the contract that he's on now currently. So after this contract is up, then that's when that 145 kicks in.
Mhm. Mhm.
So And then Devin Booker seems like he's gonna stay, right? Obviously because of the extension, but also earlier when they were hiring their new coach, he was heavily in the interview process.
Yeah,
So obviously you knew that he wasn't really gonna leave, but that's always kind of mind boggled me because of how good he really is and how much, the Suns could turn over a new leaf if they were to get rid of him or trade him or whatever. But I mean, I guess if he wants to stay, then that's all he really knows too is Phoenix, and I got to tip my cap to him for that.
yeah.
Because a lot of guys would have jumped ship and tried to go elsewhere, but he wants to try to build something there, and you can't really get mad at that, honestly.
I can't. I really can't. Hopefully with all of these picks, they go get a Giannis or somebody, just honestly speaking, because that's pretty much the only thing I feel like that they can do right now
Right.
to put themselves in a better position than what they are in currently. And actually, but then you're just top heavy roster again too, you know? Um, so I mean, Phoenix got to make some moves, but I don't know if I see them making any more big moves this offseason.
Yeah, no, I don't either. They just finished that 17 trade that we'll get
Yeah.
into in a second. But yeah, I don't really see it either. Because they're just so limited. Also with the whole Bradley Beal situation as well too. That's something that we will get into later on too. But yeah, no, speaking of the 17 trade, so the 17 trade has been official. Uh so Phoenix gets Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Kellen Malawach, Rasheer Fleming, Kobe Brea, Daquan Plowden, and the second round pick. Houston gets KD and Clint Capella. Brooklyn gets two second round picks. Golden State gets Alex Tui and Mashack.
Hmm.
Atlanta gets a second round swap, Roddy, a cash swap or cash consideration, excuse me. Lakers get Abdul Darrow, and Minnesota gets Rocco Zakarski, and 2 seconds in cash. So yeah, first ever
What
and
a what a
ever
what a
17 trades.
combination of things.
I know.
17 trade, that's a first that I've heard of, honestly.
That's the first
Um,
ever.
exactly. Just to get KD to the Rockets,
Right.
I thought it was just going to be a two-team
Okay,
thing,
just
a
yeah.
three-team thing. How does Brooklyn get involved in this?
That's what I was trying to figure out. I was trying to
Um,
figure out where Golden State came in.
what are y'all getting here? I mean, all I can really say is we got to wait and see I want to watch Houston, and I want to watch how they develop throughout the year more than anything else.
Right.
We can obviously talk in hypotheticals, and if this happens this year, um but I got to see it with my own eyes because I've seen KD just it feels like he's just blowing up teams at this point.
Yeah, oh man, that's the thing that I think I have a hard time still digesting with the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, that's just one thing right there that it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth
it
still
really does. It really does.
to this day. Because I remember when we went to one of the games, I think they're playing Philly or something. Yeah, I think they were playing Philly because him and Joel were bickering back and forth basically the whole
Mhm.
game. And I've never felt Brooklyn so alive in that moment watching the basketball game.
I think the only time I ever felt it like that was when like Paul Pierce and KG
And
came like for
KG
the
came
very
in.
first time,
Yeah, yeah. And then everybody
but
figured out, oh man, they're
but it
old.
doesn't it doesn't compare to KD, Kyrie, James Harden coming in almost coming about this close,
Mm-hmm. Thought so.
and that's probably the size of KD's big toe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this close, this close, this close. Yeah, definitely a bad taste in your mouth. And then with Phoenix too, like you brought over Bradley Beal, you wanted to team up with Devin Booker,
Yep.
and you went absolutely nowhere. Yeah, you were a 50-win team, but that doesn't mean anything when you're a first round exit, second round exit.
Right. Yeah.
To me, it just doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. So I'm hoping to see Houston make a leap, but I still see them as a first round exit team, depending on if they go up against, an OKC, a Minnesota, even
Right. Yeah. I think the thing that makes me believe in them more is just the fact that they have Ime Udoka.
Yeah,
And then they channel if they channel that energy, I think that they can basically do anything they want to. The only team I think that they're gonna have trouble with is a Thunder squad.
Hmm.
That has
Hmm.
already, they've been to the mountaintop now. They finally finished it and got to where they needed to go. And they're just a bunch of young, hungry guys that just want more. And you could see it and you could feel it too. But yeah, no, like you said, it's a wait and see process. A bunch of new guys coming in. Still got some of your young squad with
Hmm.
Jabari and Tari Eason and one of the Thompson twin. I'm always forgetting. Is it Asor or Amon? I'm always forgetting which one it is.
I think Amon might be on Houston. I think.
Yeah. But yeah, I just love that young squad mixed in with the veterans. That I think that's like the perfect combination right there for that Houston squad. And I think that I feel like the Houston squad is gonna do some damage this year.
I actually real life, I kind of put like Houston and Orlando almost in like the same category right now.
I can see that.
Two super, super hungry squads that real life that really could get to the finals. I really do think like Houston with KD could get to the finals. And then I do think that Orlando, the way Orlando's building their team right now, it's just obviously you look at OKC and you want to copy that because that's the blueprint right now.
Right.
But I can see Orlando taking those steps in order to do that.
Right. Right. Yeah. I don't blame you on that one. I like that one too. I like
But
that.
I brought up both of those. I brought up Orlando to say like I think Houston and Orlando are just real life in the same situation right now.
Yeah.
Obviously no KD, but that to me it don't matter.
It
I
don't.
think
Yeah.
y'all
No.
are up
It,
and hungry, up and coming, hungry young squad that's just trying to prove themselves.
yeah.
Yep.
Especially with a guy like Bankero
Yeah.
who has showed that he could do a lot. So. Yeah, no, I like that. Just two squads that are just that want to figure out how to get over that hump.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
yeah, another trade that kind of caught me off guard, I'm not gonna lie on this one. Clippers, Jazz, and Heat all agree to a trade. Norman Powell will be going to Miami. John Collins goes to the Clippers, and Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and the 2027 Clippers second round pick go to the Jazz.
Wow. I think Kevin Love going to the Jazz is going to be good for Ace Bailey.
Yeah. I can
I
see
think
good for like a Kyle Filipowski too, a
yes,
Walker Kessler.
yes. I think that I really do think that those guys. I think the Jazz are even in a good position, in a good foundational position.
Hmm.
I'm interested to see how Ace is going to play. Um, to see if he's really bought in, to be playing in Utah. I think he will,
Yeah,
but
I think for the most part he's just on the ball. I feel like it's his
he just
age.
want a ball. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Um, I don't know though, man. I don't know. Utah is in a weird position, I feel like as well too. Like they're just
like
they're here, but they're not here. Like.
these past few years has been like that where it's like they have a good squad on paper, but it's like they just can't put it all together.
Yeah.
I think that's their biggest problem. Um, yeah, Norman Powell going to Miami, I think is a really good pickup for them. I feel like it's something that another scoring option for them,
Hmm.
along with Tyler, along with Bam, along with Andrew Wiggins, something that is going to be good for them. But it does leave questions that I have for the Clippers now.
Yeah, now you have no six man of the year off the bench pretty much. Um, a guy that can come in and get you 20 off the bench, anywhere from 20 to 30 pretty much. You could pencil him in for.
Right.
Um, and the Clippers were already just just that's all I could say is just
Yeah.
oh God.
Yeah. One of those where you just like you said, you just throw your arms up in the air and you're just like,
I can't even count on James to give me 30 consistently, especially when it counts. So you just took away somebody that real life could get me 30.
hmm
Just deleted 30 points from my scoring opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I don't know if I have enough to make up for it, especially with, Kawhi being Kawhi, and it's still a tough team, but they also don't match up with
They
a
don't,
Minnesota. They don't match. I mean, like they very well could, but they just they can't seem to get it done. Like they just seem like a second round team, and then that's it all the time.
Without, especially without Norman Powell,
Yeah.
they don't have that other guy that can really make them contenders against the other heavy hitters. So that I think that will be that's my biggest question for them right now. I do like the pickup in John Collins. That's
Hmm.
gonna be a really good pickup. That's another person that James can throw lobs to. He's a guy who could sit in the corner and hit threes for you. Good on defense too. Very athletic. So I think that's a good pickup, but it's it's more about the other scoring option. Like you said, you can't really put all your trust in James. So Norman Powell was like that second or sometimes even that first scoring option.
And that's crazy to say on a team with James Harden, Kawhi Leonard.
Right. So that I think that's my biggest thing. I'm hearing rumors of Bradley Beal probably getting a buyout maybe from the Suns and possibly going to what's it called to the Clippers. But it's like he doesn't um he just doesn't do it for me
I
right
haven't
now.
seen enough from Bradley Beal in 5 to 6 years
Feels
to
like
be like
right.
you're gonna make a difference on my team, honestly.
Yeah, because he's not who he was when he was in Washington. Plain and simple. Like in Washington, he was a easy 30 to 40 guy.
Like when they had John Wall and Bradley, like, dude,
Yeah. Even
they were
when
supposed to go somewhere.
even when he teamed up with Russ,
Exactly, exactly.
and then he goes off to Phoenix and he could barely score 10. And now you're worried about and
Standing in the corner and whatnot. Like, come
yeah,
on,
shoot,
man.
I was more worried about him with turnovers than anything or foul trouble.
Like for real. I feel like he just did. He was just gonna foul out because he didn't want to play.
That's what I felt like too.
Yeah,
That's what I felt.
definitely.
But he will always sit there. He say, my family loves it out here, this, that, and the third. I'm like, well, the Phoenix people don't love you out there. So, bro, you got to get.
And it's also like now with KD gone, that just elevates the pressure on Bradley Beal to come in and produce on
Yes.
the same tier as what KD had and on the same tier as as Devin Booker right now, you know?
Right. Right. Because now when Devin Booker goes for 30, you have to match that 30,
Yeah.
and the things that we've seen from Jalen Green. I don't know if I can trust Jalen Green to match that. In the regular season, yeah. But if they get into the play and they get to the playoffs where the defense is tighter, the windows are tighter.
Hmm.
Can I rely on you on that?
No, because we just clearly seen that we couldn't rely on him in Houston.
Yeah, and it's like and he's young, and I believe, and I do believe that he can come into himself. But the question is, who is he going to be?
Is he going to be a star player that can take over a game, or is he just much more of a helper,
Yeah,
a,
a role
a
player.
role person, like an Aaron Gordon
Right.
almost, you know?
Right. Yeah. And that's no offense to Aaron Gordon because
No,
Aaron
not
Gordon's
at
the guy.
all.
You know what I mean? He's clearly the heart and soul of that Denver squad. But is that who we're going to transition Jalen Green to be after he's been this highly talented young player that is
Yeah.
supposed to be next up?
Houston was not supposed to get rid of him, to be quite honest with you.
No, no, no. I didn't want them to get rid of him. I wanted him to work out there because I wanted him to redeem himself.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too.
That's what I wanted for him. I wanted him to redeem himself. But I understand, but it's business though. They feel like they're in the situation we're in now, and that's what they had to do. Plain and simple.
We gonna see, man. We gonna see.
We sure will. So after the Thunder were able to lock in SGA, they locked in both Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, both the
Hmm.
5-year maximum rookie contract extensions. Chet Holmgren's can go up to 250 million, and Jalen Williams can go up to 287 million. So combining all three of them, the big three in Thunder alone, are $822 million, bro.
Oh my. There's not even enough words in the dictionary to say what that means, man.
Mm-mm.
Oh my.
Just disgusting when you think about it. But I give all the credit to that front office, to Sam Preston and all those guys in there. They know exactly what they have, and they said we gonna lock it in right now. They're not gonna take no chances.
And I can honestly see like some of those guys like I could see like a excuse me, Jalen Williams, J-Dub, like actually like taking a pay cut almost, or even a SGA, like low key, just
Yeah.
to really keep that core group together. Like I'm not worried that they in it for the bag. Like, you know what I'm saying? I
Right.
hope that makes sense. I'm not worried about that whatsoever. Like I really see a team, and that's not something I feel like I've seen in a little bit, in the NBA. A
The
a team
the
that
camaraderie.
loves each other, and
Hmm.
that's it. That like actually is going to ride out and think about their next guy, think about from one to think about to 12. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And that creates a whole different attitude in your locker room. That creates a whole different dynamic. And I say that to say, let's just say one of them takes a pay cut, or like let's just say they defer it to the end. Like you never know what could work out. Like, we're doing the deals as of right now. We'll talk about the deals, but as these deadlines approach, every year and whatnot, they might have to defer some stuff to get the players that they want, and SGA, like player SGA wants. Because I hope this core stays together. Somebody's going to end up, taking a pay cut so as to not hurt the team because of the camaraderie that they have. And you can see that, in the celebrations and whatnot afterwards, after they won the finals. Um, and they're cream of the crop. They're the top guys right now.
Yeah.
And every team wants to build themselves like that. And I see nothing wrong with that. Um, I think they're going to beat. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Back to back already
I think they're gonna go back to back, dude.
in a way, way early type
I
of
think I
rankings.
think they're I think they're too young and too hungry, like too hungry and too good, genuinely just too good. And the fact that they didn't lose anybody,
Yeah. That's the biggest thing.
you didn't lose one person. That tells me everything that I need to know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you know what else it is too. I think Sam Presti learned his lesson with his first big three and KD, James, and Russell,
Yeah.
and understanding the assignment now. Like now the assignment is to make sure that they all stay together. Everybody knows their roles and everybody knows who they are. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Most, and because you could tell that there wasn't that camaraderie, that continuity with James Harden, with Russ, and with KD.
Right.
Um, who knows what that team could have been, but that's a different conversation for another day.
Right. Right.
Um, yeah, I'm OKC gonna win it again. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
All right. All
Or,
right.
or, 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 or Dallas.
Or,
That's
oh,
it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
hey, I watched Cooper Flag today. He didn't shoot as well, but he started to get comfortable out there.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's fast
It's
paced,
fast paced, yeah.
It's grown men, even in the summer league, it's grown men, you feel
Yeah,
me?
yeah. And then also another thing, you gotta adjust to the court now too. That 3-point line is 5 feet out now.
Yeah,
It ain't like it is in college. So, but yeah, no, he's gonna be fine, and that team is gonna be they're gonna be something. Everybody gonna be watching them.
facts.
Everybody gonna be watching them. So they got no choice but to put it all together. So we'll see.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, man. But that is our episode for this week. We hope you enjoyed just as much as we did. Tune in next week as we will have more. But till then, I'm your host Cam Silver.
I'm your co-host, Kyle Silver.
This is the Silver Voice.
Thank you. Thank you.